Over thousands of years, people got together to think about what it meant to be human. Of course, that's developed, but remains an essential question of the humanities. What is happening in our world, how we understand the things going on around us, say in the social sciences, or the core foundations and functions of our environment that we might explore in the sciences.
I think of H&S as the intellectual core of ArtCenter. We have to cover what gets covered in a liberal arts college, and we need to be able to condense that and present it to our students while they're taking their studio courses.
They put an emphasis on what it is to be human. Nobody really stops to think about what matters, why does it matter, what am I doing about it, why should you care, right? And I think the humanities puts an emphasis on what are you actually doing to put your skin in the game?
What we're trying to do is help students understand the social context around the questions that they have about what they should be designing and who they're designing for. We try to give them tools and strategies to help them ask better questions, understand what are the questions that they are really interested in asking, but also importantly, who else has asked these questions before.
The kinds of questions that come in a studio class about how something looks or how something works are also linked to larger realms of social, political, and historical knowledge.
Almost all of the assignments they would do in the writing studio courses are going to require a kind of critical thinking that might be a little bit new to them, where rather than just having these ideas floating around in their head, actually putting them down on paper and clarifying them. And they also work on their ability to present.
To think critically and to act critically is just to understand the context of questions that you ask and the veracity or the truthfulness of answers that you receive. And this is kind of embodied in, for me, the ability to use science and math as tools to ask questions of the universe, to poke at reality and see what happens after you poke.
To be able to see how humankind has found ways to express and innovate and adjust and revise throughout the eras is really important. You never know what's going to cross-pollinate. What architectural structure is going to inspire a student to create a fashion garment, or what poem is going to be translated into a cinematic project.
Everything I produce is going to exist on this platform in this world that we live in, and it's going to continue to exist there, but it also will change as time goes on, and it makes me realize that I want my work to age well and not age poorly.
I love having the students from the different departments so that they can all look at the topic or the work of design or the people or groups that are designers, and they're all kind of bringing their different, not only their life experiences, but also their different disciplinary perspectives into the classroom.
Culture and art and music and social structures, all of these things, it supplements you as a person, and it also supplements your artwork. I try my hardest not to go into the world blindly, and I don't think anybody should.
It keeps creativity going. It is constantly stimulating, and you're inviting new things into your world, and it's just a good way of another way to express yourself, I think, and to influence yourself.
Part of the fun is opening up a world that they may not have expected would be opened up for them while they were here. And even more fun is watching them see how that affects their work and how that improves their work and gives depth and dimension to their work. What they do with that later is up to them, but my hope is that we're not only making artists and designers, but we're making effective citizens.
I would say to a student that wants to come to ArtCenter, don't be afraid to make your own way as you head here. Don't be afraid to ask any questions, and don't be afraid to read a book.